Okay, we're ready in
Oh, it's live.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. We have two Town Board meetings tonight. One is a Town Board voting meeting, and the second is a Town Board work session. So before we get started, as always, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, so everybody please rise. And Councilman Shano, would you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just take a moment of silence. Remember all our veterans, past and present, those that are far from home, helping to defend our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, once again, welcome everyone, and thank you for attending the meeting this evening, and thank you all at home for watching. For the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as is our town clerk, Ann Spofford, as always, and town council, Greg Fulchetti, all the way over to my left. So prior to coming out here this evening, the town board met at 6:30 p.m. in executive session with Greg Fulchetti and Joe Charbonneau, town legal counsel, to discuss it was a litigation update with respect to Homeland Towers. So we met at 6:30, and we had a discussion regarding the whole Walton Drive Maple Hill condos matter involving the cell tower. Come on, hang on one second. All right, there's the key to the door. That's the key to the door, and this is to my office. Those two. All right. So I need a motion to open the town board voting meeting.
Second.
Okay, so moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So the first item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing on a proposed local law amending Chapter 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Vehicles and Traffic. So at this time, I'm going to ask the town clerk, and I guess Susie's going to split the reading duties with Ann to read the notice of the public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel will conduct a public hearing at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, 10541, on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible, on a proposed local law amending Chapter 147 of the Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Vehicles and Traffic by amending certain schedules therein as follows. Proposed local law, if adopted tonight, it would be number 1 of the year 2020. A local law amending Chapter 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Section 1. This local law shall be known as 2020 Amendments to Chapter 147 entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Section 2. Chapter 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel, Section 147-54, Schedule 13, parking prohibited certain hours, is hereby amended to add the following to the existing provision of said section. In accordance with the provisions of Section 147-22, no person shall park a vehicle between the hours listed upon any of the following described streets or parts of streets. And the name of the street is Mud Pond Road on the west side at all times for the entire length. Section 3, Chapter 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel, Section 147-39, Schedule 2, one-way streets, is hereby amended to add the following to the existing provision of said section. The name of the street is Rockledge Place. The direction of travel limits is south-southeast, and it's for one-way travel between Sycamore Terrace and Westlake Boulevard.
In Section 4, Home Rule, nothing in this local law is intended or shall be construed to limit the home rule authority of the town under state law to limit the town's discretion in setting fees and charges in connection with any applications requiring town approval. Section 5, severability. If any part or provision of this local law or the application thereof to any person or circumstance be adjudged invalid by any court of competent jurisdiction, Such judgment shall be confined in its operation to the part or provision or application directly involved in the controversy in which the judgment shall have been rendered, and shall not affect or impair the validity of the remainder of this local law or the application thereof to other persons or circumstances. And the town board of the town of Carmel hereby declares that it would have passed this local law or the remainder thereof had such invalid application or invalid provision been apparent. Section 6, effective date. This local law shall take effect immediately upon filing in the office of the Secretary of State in accordance with Section 27 of the Municipal Home Rule Law. At said public hearing, all interested persons shall be heard on the subject thereof. The town board will make every effort to assure that the public hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Carmel, Ann Spotford, town clerk.
Okay, thanks, Susie. Thank you, Ann. All right, at this time, I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor? Aye. Is there anyone here that would like to speak this evening at the public hearing to amend the local law regarding the streets that were just read off in the public hearing, the notice of the public hearing? All right. There being none, I just want to state that I have received calls from some of the residents that reside up in Mahopac Hills, which is also Vista Terrace area, and they've expressed a concern. I'm not sure why they're not here. They did indicate to me that they were coming, that their concern was if the one-way is created exiting Rockledge Place out onto Westlake Boulevard, they have a concern for sight visibility. There's a curve in the roadway on Westlake Boulevard that creates a sight distance issue when you're exiting Rockledge onto Westlake. Their recommendation was to reverse it and have the one-way. They were okay with the one-way evidently, but if the town would consider reversing it and the one-way enter from, so you'd be exiting off of Westlake Boulevard onto Rockledge and go up that way as opposed to exiting Rockledge out onto Westlake. They expressed a concern about sight distance and sight visibility on a curve there. And I know where they're talking about because I've traveled that road many times, and there is a sight distance issue exiting that road onto Westlake Boulevard. So just, I wanted to put it out there. Again, I'm not sure why they're not here, but probably 5 or 6 residents that live up in that area had indicated the same concern. So Mike, I know you had recommended the one-way from Rockledge out onto Westlake, but they have a concern that exiting is a sight visibility issue, exiting onto Westlake from Rockledge. Is that true? Not true?
In the highway department, we've looked at it both ways, and in fact, anybody coming out of, the reason I suggest that you go is that really we're only servicing 3 homes coming off of Rockledge that would be impacted. Anyone else can come out through Vista Terrace or through Sycamore, which have plenty of visibility. There is also the other, there is a turn there, and we're both aware of it, but it is vegetation that blocks the view. So that if it needed to be, it falls well within the purview of a highway department or whatever to take down vegetation or ask the occupant to take down the vegetation so that you have much more view. You would have better than 150 feet of view if you took down the vegetation. I believe this is the easier way to go. It would be, it would limit, which I think could be a problem, any oncoming traffic coming from the west toward east, going on to Rockledge. Again, that would be a more of a blind corner than coming out and going right.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. I didn't know if there was a stone wall there also where the vegetation is that you're
There
talking.
is, but it's low.
It's a lower
Yeah, this
wall?
low wall is probably less than 2.5 feet.
Okay. All right. Any other town board members want to weigh in on this?
No.
Mike? Frank?
vegetation, though, the vegetation looks like it's somebody's privacy.
Well, it's mature vegetation. It's actually, it looks like shrubbery, right? It looks like a hedge.
It's taken
Private.
care of by the homeowner on the corner.
Right. So it might, perhaps it's probably screening for the homeowner, right? So I don't know if that homeowner would be willing to do anything with respect to the vegetation. I'm just not sure about that. So I guess that's something that, you know, we'd have to address, or Mike, I don't know how you would address that issue with the homeowner, but that's an issue. But they wanted me to share their concerns, and I thought they were coming tonight. So I did express their concerns, and you explained.
Well, we're limited, again, there's two other exits out of it. You don't need, again, I'm looking at that, and we were there and we paved it, we've done extensive drainage work here. Usually the people who come out of there, the people who live there.
Yeah, yeah, the other people, the other folks that live up top would go out,
Vista Terrace.
Vista Terrace, out that way.
Sycamore goes out Sycamore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, if they were that concerned about it, I would think they would have been here. But they expressed it to me, so I wanted to share it with you. So that was their concern. So, all right. Is there anyone else? There's nobody signed up, and there's nobody here to comment at the public hearing. So at this time, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
So moved by Councilwoman McDonough. Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Public hearing is closed. Thanks, Mike.
Just one other question.
Sure.
There was a third.
Yes. Yeah, we actually,
we talked about it, and I know we talked about it. I just like to know the status, because I've heard nothing since
All right.
the July 27th meeting when I brought it up.
okay, so here's the status. We got proposals for survey work, and we got a proposal from Link Land Surveying, and I signed the contract. It was within the procurement policy threshold of the cost, so I signed it, and the engineering department notified Link Land Surveying to begin the work surveying that property, as you recommended to have it surveyed.
Yeah.
So Link is doing it. They were notified today to begin the work. So,
Oh, is this, we're talking about,
Cherry Lane.
right, Cherry Lane?
Cherry Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're starting it, and they estimate it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to complete.
And they'll leave points. They'll leave points, either, monuments or rebar so that we can locate it when it comes time to do whatever you want to do, rather than just get a survey map and then you're out stuck in the field trying to locate it. It'll be something that the engineering department can go back and relocate it when the time comes, without calling the surveyor back.
All
Right.
So that's where we're at. I apologize I didn't get back to you on that. We just
talked at that meeting about, it was under a master plan review, and a contractor, I believe, had been picked to do the overall downtown master plan, but I have yet to even get a call or being honest. I have no idea what's going on.
with the downtown revitalization project? Insight hasn't contacted you?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could get, I'd like an update on that also.
Insight just reached out to the engineering department, I think it was Monday or Friday, and it was Friday, because I told them I'm calling Insight, and now the fact that they didn't reach out to Mike, I'm calling Jeff tomorrow.
So can we also schedule to get an update? Maybe you can come and give us an update, because it's been like crickets. I like that word, crickets.
Okay. It's ongoing. Work is ongoing. It hasn't stopped. But you want an update?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a concept.
We'll get him in here to give you an update.
perfect.
Yeah, I thought we'd have one by now, too.
Okay. Rich says he has an update. It's a concept.
Right, so
Rich
All right.
met with him.
it's as, to follow up what Councilman Grilli said, we met with Insight here on Friday. We got Insight additional information. As Greg just mentioned, it's a concept plan, so we're moving forward with that. He's collected all his information. Jeff, that is, they're going to be making the maps, and they're going to start looking at the hydraulics, hydrology on his end, meaning the engineering end for Jeff, and they're going to start looking at it on the conceptual end with the landscape architect they have on staff. That's where we're at right now. So
Right,
we
Rich,
we can ask Jeff to come in, or we can ask him to give us
Well,
a
it's
better
not-
update if that's what the board
I like
wants.
to say,
But
it's not so much me. I really believe, like, more people need to be made aware. You have the highway superintendent here, but you also have Nelson, Pope, and Boris. Everybody kind of has to be connected, at least just let them know what's going on.
Right, we're not in a design phase at all right now. So right now, what's happening with Insight is that they're going to develop 3 conceptual plans for the public and a public meeting, and for the board to look at first, and then for the public to come to and make comments to see what we want to have done. Then it's going to go to design after that. So right now, we're only in conceptual, the first phase of that project, if you want to call it as such. And it includes looking at Swan Cove itself, it includes the Route 6 lighting, it includes Cherry Lane.
And we provided them with the scope of the conceptual work.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the scope of what they're looking at. That was provided by us. We gave them that, so that's what they're following. So,
They're going to be providing us 3 alternates on how we want this park to look. So actually, then Recreation is here, and the town board wants to look at it, the public looks at it, they can weigh in, and then we go in and we say, okay, we're going to pick, this design with maybe 1 or 2 things from something else on the others. That's how we want this facility, that we want this ultimate project to look like, and then we'll go out and design, well, they'll go out and design it, so.
All right, thank you.
Right. Yeah, it may not be Insight. We'd have to put that back out once we have the conceptual design, because we can't design something we don't know what we want. It may include the bridge, it may include a splash park, it may include, a whole bunch of other features that have been talked about. We don't know yet, and the board ultimately will be looking at that and making a decision on that. It's not going to be Jeff Cantelmo, it's not going to be, or Insight, it's not going to be the engineering department. Yeah. Highway will get the conceptual when it's there, Recreation will get it, everyone will be able to provide their input to the project as we go forward.
Perfect.
Right.
Thanks.
So that's the
Rich.
update on it. I'm sorry there's
Good.
been nothing else, but we still are in the data collection phase for them, and they're still developing the base maps for them to move forward.
As long as the data collection, I believe, states that highway is very much in favor of making that a one-way road.
Cherry Lane?
Well, I think we're universal on that.
I think
We're universal on that.
The part afterwards,
Yeah, well, we're universal on that. I don't think there's any person here that doesn't agree with you.
it's one way this way, now design.
We don't disagree.
yeah, we're all in agreement. It should be one way. Yeah. So, all right, thanks, Mike. So Sue, are you satisfied with that report from Rich on this?
Yes, yep.
Close it?
Yeah, and I'll speak with Rich. Where is he? I'll
Rich is
speak with
back there.
Rich after. Yep,
Okay.
thank
Did you
you.
want to address this?
No.
So what are we doing with the public hearing?
Did you close it?
We closed the public hearing.
Close, yeah.
We closed it.
All right, so now you got, you're either doing secret and adoption, or you're doing nothing and moving on the agenda. Secret and then result, yeah.
Let him move forward. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, Resolution 1A, consider resolution making secret determination in regard to the proposed local law. What's the number in?
Number 1.
1, local law number 1 of the year 2020, enacting Chapter 147 of the Town Code, Town of Carmel, entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Bob? Councilman Shano, would you read Resolution 1A, please?
Resolution making secret determination in regard to the proposed local law number 1 of the year 2020, enacting Chapter 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby determines that the local law number 1, amending Chapter number 147 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Vehicle and Traffic, is a Type 2 action under Secor NYCRR Section 617.5 Subdivision C, parentheses 27, and no further review is necessary. I offer this resolution as read.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shell?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, Councilwoman McDonough, 1B, consider motion to enact the law. Do you want to make a motion to enact it?
Sure, I make a motion to enact
Local law 1.
local law number 1 of the year 2020.
Can we do that as noticed and published, as part of your
noticed
motion?
and published in the town clerk's office and Spofford.
That's fine.
Okay, there's a motion. Do you have a second? Second. Second by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Channel.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Okay, this is on the one-way, right?
Yes.
I'm okay with it as long as we're not affecting that man's shrubbery or his house. So I want that for the record.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in agreement. I don't think that gentleman who lives at that corner house, he takes good care of that hedge line. He's constantly maintaining it. I think there's a reason it's there to provide screening
Takes great pride in his home.
for his home.
Takes great pride in his home.
Takes a lot of pride in his home, and I personally don't want to see, and I understand where Mike is coming from, but if this, by us approving this, that gentleman's going to be required to take that hedge line down or cut it back substantially to increase site visibility, then I wouldn't be in favor of it either. I'd have to be in agreement.
It's either a yes or no vote, so, or we can just table it. And if we table it, you'd have to find out from that gentleman, you'd have to do a little bit more research to find out what's going on with that parcel, if that parcel's required. I'm just saying, you
Well,
can't.
I think Mike could answer it. I don't think he's
What
gonna.
I'm saying, you understand, Mike? It's either yes or no. You can't say yes
I
and.
agree, right with you, yes or no. I don't see it being a problem. It's been this way for at least 30 years. I mean, this,
Okay.
Yeah. The gentleman we're talking about used to frame houses for me when I was
Yeah.
a contractor.
You know-
And I know him very well.
As long as we're all
Whether
fine
you're,
with it.
whether you're going in or coming out, those hedges are there. That's what, but I believe that the better way would be to come down that road rather than go up in that
Okay.
road. So that's all I'm suggesting. So I'm just saying that we also have in the code 200 foot of line of sight that is in our code, but I do not anticipate doing anything because I think it's safe, it's been fine. I don't think we have accidents as it stands right now, and we're not changing that intersection.
All right,
We're
but
just
not
making
gonna
it a
cut-
one-way.
gonna
We're
cut
not
the
making it a
gentleman's-
two-way, right?
We're not going to cut the gentleman's hedges back.
No,
Okay,
I'm not, no.
all right, thank you. All right. Ann,
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes,
Su-
what
Supervisor.
did Councilman Borelli say?
Yes.
He said
he
yes.
said yes.
Okay,
With the
okay.
condition.
I'm a yes then, too. Not because Mike said yes, because it's the right thing to do, and the highway superintendent clarified that we're not cutting the hedge line down, the hedgerow down. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Okay. All right, so that completes the public hearing for this evening, and we're going to move on now to the town board voting meeting. And the first item is to accept the town board minutes of August 26th and September 2nd, 2020. I need a motion to accept those. So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the first item on the agenda, number one, is a resolution authorizing budget modifications for period May and August 2020, number 2020/02. Council, you read this. So Councilman Lombardi, would you read one, please?
Whereas the town controller has reviewed the proposed budget modifications for the period ending August 31st, 2020 with the town board, which are detailed and explained on the attached budget revision schedule 2020-02. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes and ratifies the budget modifications revisions for the period ending August 31st, 2020, as shown itemized on the schedule 2020-02 attached here to, incorporated herein and made part hereof. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Channel.
Yes.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes. Motion carried. All right, next resolution, number two, is a resolution adopting the 2020 Service Award Annual Reports for Carmel Ambulance District Number 1, Carmel Fire Protection Districts 1 and 2. Councilman Borelli, would you read two, please?
Resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of Carmel Ambulance District Number 1,
She's going to leave it.
Carmel Fire Protection Districts 1 and 2, hereby accepts the 2020 Length of Service Award Program Annual Report for Carmel Ambulance District Number 1 and Carmel Fire Protection Districts 1 and 2, as prepared by Penifex, Inc., a copy of which is on file in the office of the town supervisor. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution declaring certain equipment obsolete and authorizing disposal. It's Highway Department equipment, and Councilman Shannon, would you read 3, please?
Resolved that upon the recommendation of the Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, the Town Board in the Town of Carmel hereby declares the following trucks and equipment to be obsolete and authorizes its disposal in accordance with town law, including but not limited to Town Law, Section 64, Subdivision 2A. Description is a 2002 Chevy Utility Truck 5, 2005 International 4900 4x4 dump truck, truck number 4797 John Deere loader, loader number 2, and 94 Eager Beaver Roller Road Crew. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution acknowledging performance of emergency repairs, Carmel Water District Number 2. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 4?
Shall resolve that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water and sewer districts of the Town of Carmel, hereby acknowledges the emergency performance of water and sewer district collection system, distribution system, and treatment facilities repairs, specifically those performed in Carmel Water Number 2, all as fully detailed in the memorandum of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., to the Town Board dated September 3rd, 2020, which is attached hereto and made a part thereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 5 is a resolution authorizing improvements at Sycamore Park. This is a tree bench, and it's a Eagle Scout project. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 5?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, in connection with the proposed Eagle Scout project, parentheses, tree bench at Sycamore Park, of Chris Stiller of Boy Scouts of America Troop 1, Mahopac, hereby authorizes the performance of improvements at Sycamore Park in accordance with the memorandum of plan provided by the Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, as detailed in the memorandum of the Town Board dated September 4, 2020. And be further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates for all vendors and contractors proposed to perform improvements in connection with this authorization in form acceptable to the Town Council, the aforesaid work may be commenced. I offer the resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution scheduling a public hearing in regards to proposed local law, Chapter 147 of the Town Code, Town of Carmel, titled Vehicles and Traffic, amending certain schedules. October 7th, 2020 is the date of the public hearing for the amendment of the local law in regards to the vehicle and traffic. Councilman Borelli, would you read 6, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the scheduling of a public hearing at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, on Wednesday, October 7th at 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter that evening as possible, on a local law amending Chapter 147 of the Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Vehicles and Traffic by amending certain schedules therein, and be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and instructed to publish and post the necessary notices in the official newspapers of the town and on the town bulletin board regarding this public hearing. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution announcing compliance with Governor Cuomo's Executive Order, number 203. This is the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. And before we read this resolution, I just want to go over something with respect to this particular resolution. Just bear with me. The Town of Carmel is the police department, and myself and the Carmel Town Board were directed by Governor Cuomo, as all other law enforcement agencies in the state of New York, on June 12th of 2020. Governor signed Executive Order Number 203, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative, which requires that each local government entity which has a police agency operating with police officers as defined under 1.20 of the Criminal Procedure Law must perform a comprehensive review of current police force deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices, and develop a plan to improve such deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and addressing the particular needs of the community served by such police agency, and promote community engagement to foster trust, fairness, and legitimacy, and address any racial bias and disproportionate policing and communities of color. Each chief executive of such local government shall convene the head of the local police agency. In this case, it's Lieutenant John Dearman as the commanding officer, and stakeholders in the community to develop such plan, which shall consider evidence-based policing strategies. In accordance with this order, the Town of Carmel Police Department is seeking community groups and members who wish to participate in the New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative for the Town of Carmel. We ask all interested parties to submit their contact information along with any constructive ideas they may have to the Town of Carmel Town Clerk, Ann Spofford, by email, Town Clerk, Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, or by email to Town Clerk no later than Friday, October 30th, 2020. The Town Clerk, so when you go to the Town of Carmel website, it's on the front page of the website, and our website address is www.ci.carmel.ny.us. There's a hyperlink for Town Clerk. You can click on the Town Clerk hyperlink, and it'll go directly, so your comment, your question, your concern, your input, and any information that you would like to share with respect to the Governor's Executive Order 203, you can email myself, and Lieutenant Dearman will get that email. So the Town Clerk is going to be the records keeper of that email. So it'll go directly to Ann Spofford, and then Ann Spofford, through a link, she will email Lieutenant Dearman and myself. So we will have your comments, your input, and any questions that you may have with respect to this order, this executive order. So that's the public's opportunity to give input and share their thoughts and concerns regarding this matter. The plan has to be adopted by the town board by April 1st of 2021. So this is going to be ongoing. It's been ongoing. I've had 2 meetings already, along with Lieutenant Dearman at the county level. County Executive Mary Ellen Odell has put a panel together of those law enforcement agencies' representatives. There's county representatives there. The county law department is represented. The legal department is there. The chief ADA for Putnam County is involved. Attendees part of these meetings, and David Squirrel is also represented there. I believe he's legal aid representative. So there's a panel of probably about 25 or 30 individuals that have met twice at the Tops building up in Carmel to discuss this initiative. So I just want the public to be made aware that we are working on this. We're at the point now, we have a checklist that we're going to be working off of, and we're at the point where we're going to be seeking input from these community-based groups. There's also local defense attorneys that Lieutenant Dearman has met with or will be meeting with to discuss this initiative as well. So there's stakeholders from throughout the community that are involved in this process, and the public is encouraged to participate in this process as well. So we're at the point where the community stakeholders should be giving input, and a web page, as I said, has been established with an email address for the stakeholders and the public to interact with the panel. And I gave you that website address, carmelny.us. So, John, Lieutenant Dearman is here with us tonight, so I just wanted to cover those those points with respect to this initiative. So it's reviewing the needs of the community served by its police agency, evaluate the department's current policies and practices, establish policies that allow police to effectively and safely perform their duties, involve the entire community in the discussion, as I stated, develop policy recommendations resulting from this review, offer a plan for public comment, which we've done, present the plan to the local legislative body to ratify and to adopt it, that's this town board, and to certify adoption of the plan to the state budget director on or before April 1st of 2021. So we have some time, you know, but we do need to continue to work on this, and Lieutenant Dearman is going to be meeting with the town board tonight to discuss a firm that he's reached out to, or vendor, to assist us with this process. So John, did I cover everything? Do you want to add anything, or no, at this point? Okay, all right. All right, thanks, John. So I just wanted the public to be aware that we are moving forward with this, and we're to the point now where the public can get involved by providing us with comments with respect to this. So. All right, so with all that said, now we can move on to the resolution. And Councilman Channel, would you read resolution number 7, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of the Town of Carmel Police Department, hereby acknowledges receipt and its intention to comply with the provisions of Executive Order Number 203 of the Honorable Andrew M. Cuomo, issued on or about June 12, 2020, with respect to the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative for the State of New York, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel designates and appoints interim commanding officer Lieutenant John R. Dearman as liaison to the Town Board and all local police agencies for purposes of this initiative. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Channel?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution accepting a proposal for professional services, Lake Mahopac Dam Engineering Assessment. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 8, please?
Yes. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby authorizes acceptance of the proposal of Schnabel Engineering, Glen Allen, VA, for professional services required in connection with preparation of an engineering assessment for Lake Mahopac Dam in accordance with the terms of the Order on Consent issued in New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, case number C03-20170-425-83, at a cost not to exceed $93,100. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council, Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute any and all necessary contract documentation to effect acceptance of this proposal upon the terms authorized herein. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Channel?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, that completes the voting meeting agenda for tonight. I need a motion to close the town board voting meeting.
Motion to close the meeting?
So moved by Councilman Channel to close it.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to open the town board work session.
So moved.
I'll second it.
You go sign, have Councilman McDonough hand over.
Got his new
You want me
comment.
to sign it now?
Ann's going to leave, so you
Oh,
need
okay.
a notary, so
Yeah, you want to
maybe
start?
that'd be the best thing.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, so for the town, yep, I got it. So the town board work session, Richard Franzetti, the town engineer, has the first 4. So Rich, if you can come up. The first one is to review of semi-annual MS4 report and consider request to authorize signing of MS4 report.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Nope, that's okay.
So, Town of Carmel is an MS4 community, and as such, we are required to develop and submit an annual report due June 1st of any given year, a semi-annual report due December 1st of any given year. Under the New York State DEC, State Pollution Discharge Elimination General Permit for stormwater discharges for MS4. attached to the board's consideration is the semi-annual MS4 report. It will need to be signed and owned by the operator, in this case, the supervisor, and then forwarded to the New York State DEC.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, Rich, the second item is consider request to advertise for bids for Carmel Water District Number 2 distribution systems upgrade.
The board is aware the engineering department has solicited proposals from engineering firms to prepare bid documents and specs for construction administration for the water distribution system upgrade for Carmel Water District 2. Board had authorized John Robert Mercedes and Associates to prepare said plans and specs to go out for bid. As the board may recall, these upgrades include relining around 10 miles of pipe, 52,800 feet, installation of valves, and installation of new mains. The estimated time on complete the aspect of this project, completed all aspects, is about 2 years. The relining project requires temporary water to be placed in service, including hydrants. Based on industry standards, there's about 1,000 feet per week of relining can be completed. Typical production seasons last from April to October in this area. Assuming the selected contractor is able to reline the pipes at this rate, the lead grinding project would take about 1 year to complete, if working year-round. This will require that temporary water lines be installed in the winter months in order to save money on the project and not have to provide heated temporary water lines in the winter months. The relining project has been broken down into 2 phases. Contract 1, or contract phase 1, includes the relining of Fair Street, St. Michael's Terrace, Everett Road, and Kelly Ridge Road. Phase 2 includes relining of Sunset Ridge, Gully areas and West, Fowler, Sunnycrest, and Lindy Drive areas. The intent is to let the first phase out to bid in the fall of 2020, and once you guys approve it, for a spring 2021 project start, and to let the second phase out in the winter of 2021 for a summer-fall relining project. The design of the new main backlot between Kelly Road and Stone Lake and the valve installation projects will be let out in the spring and summer of 2021 for a 2021 summer-fall start. So at this time, the engineering department requests authorization to let these projects out for public bid upon completion of the plans and specifications.
Rich, I just have one question with contract phase 1 and phase 2, and you said there's about 10 miles. So is phase 1 like 5 miles and phase 2 5 miles? You kind of broke it up evenly?
No, they really broke it down more into phases. I don't know the exact air miles of each one. It's essentially that, but I don't know the hard number on that. It's broken more into regions, so we're hitting the, Fair Street, St. Michael's Terrace, Everett Road, and Kelly Ridge, they're all in one area versus just doing Kelly Ridge Road and then trying to do Sunset. They're in opposite ends of the world. So it's in order to mobilize the companies or the contractors in an area where they just stay within an area and not have to go back and forth across town. So I don't know the mileage on each one, but I can get you that number. Thank you all for moving the project forward in a consistent area.
Yeah, because I see phase 1, it's going to start hopefully in the spring of 2021, but phase 2 may be the summer-fall start. So I was just
Two
wondering,
different contracts would be let out. 2 different bid specs would be let out.
all right, but starting in the fall would be okay if you had to do 5 weeks, you think?
Yeah, it should be able to be completed. That's what we've been told by JR and
Okay, perfect. Does
Rich,
anybody else have any questions?
Rich, have you spoken to the grant writer with regard to potential costs involved in this and seeing what we can find out there?
This information and all information regarding any of the water projects in Water District 2 and anywhere else that we're doing it has been forwarded to the grant writer. Due to COVID and due to the way EFC is moving, some of those grants have not been released yet, but they will be put out there and they will, know about this going forward.
Okay.
All right, Kenny, it's yours.
All right. Hey, Rich, I just got a text that your mic's not working.
It's on.
It's
I just
on?
noticed that it's on. It's the mask.
All right.
It's not going through the mask.
All right, Jim, can you knock on that door and let Vinnie know that
It's working.
Rich's mic doesn't seem to be working?
fine.
Well, I'll use this
All
mic.
right, he just switched it.
Ask him if they can
It's
hear me
working.
now.
All right, okay.
Rich, one question. We got some funding already, right? 50,000 towards the project?
That's for a different project, but yes, there was grant, I think that was allocation from one of the senators or congressmen that did it for the tanks.
Oh, that
So,
was for the tanks, okay.
yes, sir.
And said,
That's going to be in a couple of weeks. I'll be coming to the board asking to put the tank work out to bid for the the replacement and the rehab of the glass line tanks within town. So that would be the Everett Road tank getting replaced, Water District 14 getting rid of the old tanks, putting a new one in, and rehabbing the ones here in Carmel Water 8.
And that 50,000 will be used specifically for the water tanks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, next, number 3, also the town engineer, consider request to lift mandatory water restrictions for Carmel Water District 7 and 12.
So B&J, thank you. B&J, the operators of Carmel Water District 7, and Infomark, the operators of Carmel Water District 12, have advised the engineering department that the water restrictions in each of these respective districts can be lifted at this time as the systems are functioning normally. The department concurs with the assessment and recommends that the mandatory restrictions be withdrawn.
Okay, any questions, comments regarding this item?
Nope.
Lifting the water restrictions? Thankfully, we had some rain, and the water table has recovered enough where they can lift the restrictions. All right, Rich, 4, consider request to accept proposals for concrete repairs at Carmel Town Hall.
Yes, at the request of the supervisor, the engineering department developed an RFP to obtain pricing for concrete repairs for the south entryway of Town Hall. That's the one this way, toward the back here, or toward the front. The RFP was sent to 5 masons. 2 proposals were received. The 2 respondents were John Astrologo and Coviello Landscaping. Astrologo came in at a price of $26,000. Coviello came in at $29,000. The comptroller has advised that sufficient funds exist for this project. John Astrologo has performed several projects for the town of Carmel in the past, which have been inspected by the department. We've always been satisfied with the workmanship, materials, and performance. Based on the above, we recommend that the project be awarded to John Astrologo for $26,000.
Okay, Board, as you're aware that we had the north side entrances done last year, and the concrete came out really great. The south side is in the same condition that the north side was in before we finished the north side. So I budgeted, there's money in the budget to have this work done, and it's actually the same contractor that did the work on the north side is going to be doing the work on the south side. It's all the concrete at the entranceway, it's breaking up, it's
Where 9/11
scaling,
Memorial is also?
cracking.
Where the 9/11 Memorial is
Yeah,
also, right?
yeah, the entrance right
No,
here.
just this
I mean, it's
entryway,
where
not the
4 doors
9/11
is.
memorial.
All right,
Where the entry doors are,
right.
the area outside the town clerk's office there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it needs to be redone, and we budgeted money to have that work done this year. So, everybody okay with this? Go
Yeah.
ahead and
Yeah.
do this work? Okay, all right.
I just need to make the board aware of one thing. It's not going to be brought to the board due to our new procurement policy. On October 7th, we're going to have the zebra mussel inspection and cleaning of the influent pipe for the water plant, so for Carmel Water Districts 1A, 10, and 13. We do this on an annual basis. We have divers that come out there. We have a vacuum truck that goes out there, and B&J is out there for the day. Due to the new procurement policy, it's not something that we bring to the board, but I just wanted to let you know that that will be going on this year, and is on October 7th, weather permitting. So it's something we do every year because of the terrible zebra mussels that are in our water. So,
Thanks, Rich.
Okay, thank you, Rich.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rich.
Okay,
No
next
problem.
item, number 5, Jim Gilchrist, Director of Recreation and Parks, and Nina Kalmeyer is here as well. This is a Recreation Department program update. Hey, Jim, Nina, how are you?
Initiated by Kenny reviewing our monthly meeting minutes that we have from our recreation committee. So we saw a lot of positive activities that were going on during the summer. So Nina got a nice slideshow going on and updating how our summer programs went. But to give you a little background, starting at the beginning of the year, when this whole COVID crisis hit, we were reduced to basically 2 people in our department. I had Frank Fabio working full-time
Nina, do me a favor, I'm sorry, Jim. Could you switch the mics, give that mic to Jim?
Yes.
Evidently, that mic is not working, so just shut it off, Jim. And when Nina... All right, thank you, I'm sorry.
So Nina was able to get the whole camp process through, all of our spring, summer classes. We had a lot of adjustments that we had to do. And going into the fall, we are going to have classes. We had a tremendous amount of activity in all of our parks this summer. The residents have used our parks for social gatherings on low numbers, areas to meet with their families. If you go by Red Mills Park, any night of the week, those picnic tables they're used down there. Sycamore Park, we have people walking all through the parks. It was heartbreaking on our basketball courts. We've got 3 banks of them through the town. We had to take all the rims down due to the regulations. That was very difficult on the young kids and staff. But the tennis courts are used every day. You'll see how the beach was utilized during the summer. And going into the fall, all of our classes will be outside. We're going to have no indoor classes for the fall. So everybody's going to have to dress appropriately. MSA, Carmel Sports Association, Carmel Rams, and United Soccer did an excellent job adjusting, following all the regulations. We had to make some adjustments for low-risk activities. We were able to, the schools closed their facilities for the summer, even going into the early fall. So we had all sport activities in town parks. So we really had to work with different groups, sharing the time that we had. MSA Baseball, along with the MSA program in total, came up with a phenomenal plan, great guidelines. It went without a hitch. We had private groups that were renting the facilities. We mandated guidelines for them. They did a great job. Our adult leagues played all summer. Our men's softball league, women's softball, that went through great. And our plans now, we've been meeting with Anthony DiCarlo and also his administration on trying to get MSA back onto the school fields. So we're in the process of, we've turned in all the paperwork that was, say, the pre-paperwork. They approved and made some additions. So now it's a matter of just having MSA sign off on how they're going to use the facilities, who's going to be in charge, and all that. So our plan is to be using Lakeview first, and that would be for our T-ball program and our baseball program. And then we'll move along as, we don't see any indoor space at this point being utilized. The Carmel School District, properties that we use up there, they opened up on August 17th for all outdoor facilities. At the present time, there will be no indoor space. So a lot of the basketball programs could be in jeopardy for this year. So it's been very, very challenging. We've had great support from everybody out there. The residents have been very understanding. It's very, very difficult for young families with children. Our seniors, as we'll talk about later on, they were the biggest babies out of all the groups. They really want to get together. So we came up with a phenomenal plan. They're having a great time. You go by any park during the week, you're going to see seniors sitting in the picnic tables.
Yeah.
They need socialization. They have to get together. So they went from 1 day a week to probably 3 days a week. So it's all great stuff. So I'm going to let Nina run with the presentation. If you want me to turn the lights off so everybody can see that?
Yeah, go ahead. If you don't mind.
And I'm just gonna hand out our fall brochure too, so
Thank
you
you.
guys have a copy.
Yeah, no, you can leave. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Can you hear me through this?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep,
Okay,
can hear you.
perfect. So like Jim said, I kind of wanted to just go through.
Closer to the mic so that they hear you at home.
I just wanted to go through how our summer went and what our plan is for the fall. Like Jim said, it has not been very easy, but we have made it work and we're adjusting to the new normal, and we're hoping that everybody could just bear with us as is in, every other aspect of life right now. So we were able to open the beach this summer. These are just some pictures from opening day, so I'm just going to go through the pictures and talk some numbers at the same time. With all of the guidelines that New York State passed down, we had to put up signs, social distancing, do different entrance, exit ways. We also had to put up different markers on the beach, which you'll see moving forward. But overall, I just wanted to thank our staff. We did training prior to beach opening, which was very interesting because we weren't allowed to hold any of our American Red Cross classes, so we had to base it off of everything from years prior. We did get everybody recertified, and they were all certified with their certifications, but New York State made some, they allowed it to go on for an additional year with the waterfront certification. So that's just some on, staff training, but they were an exceptional staff this year. We had only positive feedback from all the residents that came to the beach throughout the summer. So these are, in the beginning of the summer, people were kind of trickling in here and there, but as time went on, the beach got packed. We were open from June 20th to August 30th. And just so you guys are aware, last year our revenue, we brought in $4,500. This year we brought in $13,290. So we tripled our revenue, which was amazing. We have so many new families that were introduced to the beach through, this summer. And even though, there wasn't much for people to do in the town, I think that this was a great avenue for people to get out. It's something that they didn't know about. Everybody's like, it's a little hidden gem. And that's really nice to hear from our standpoint. Just some numbers on permit-wise. Family swim permit, we sold 27. We usually sell, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 family swim permits. We offered something new this year, which is a family day pass, which is $20 for 3 or more people in a family to come onto the beach. And we sold 93 of those. We did punch cards, 35 of those. I mean, I can go on and on with numbers, but overall, it was awesome. Also, we do kayaking, paddleboarding at Sycamore, and that was just overwhelmingly used. We did 113 kayak rentals through the summer, 50 paddleboard rentals, and that doesn't include all of the free boat rentals for our seniors. It is completely free for senior citizens to utilize our beach, and they are there religiously. Every single day, same group of seniors, and it's awesome. It's nice to see them out there, and I think that everybody was just happy to have some sort of normalcy back into their lives. So this is just some more on the beach. Then we also offered our waterfront classes. So we did stand-up paddleboarding at Sycamore. We do yoga on the boards. And this is just, showing some of the different programs that we have. And we're also, I just came from paddleboarding. We have our fall session going on right now. So that's going great. It's getting a little chilly out there, but that hasn't stopped anybody. Also, we did kayaking on Lake Mayapack during the summer, and I have an additional class going on this fall. I'll be out there tomorrow morning at 7:30, if anybody wants to join. Also, kayak launching on Lake Mayapack. So this has been a great way for people to get out, and with our waterfront classes, we figured that that was going to be one of the first things that we were going to offer back to the people, seeing as you can easily socially distance on a kayak or on a paddleboard. You're not on top of one another. As for, when everybody was getting in and out of the vessels, whoever is down there, as for the launches, I'm down there right now, but our lifeguards during the summer, they're masked up. They get them in their gear, get them out, and then when they come back, same thing, they'll get them out, and then we sanitize everything. The beach was same way, sanitize everything after each use. The kayak launches, we still have 2 weekends to go. So this upcoming weekend, I believe, is packed. But next weekend, it's Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you're interested, registration is open for that. And that's just a picture of the kayaks down at the lake at one of the early mornings. So then I wanted to go through some park improvements. I'm so happy and grateful that we were able to get the blacktop resurfaced at Sycamore Park. For as long as I know, it hasn't been, and when I was a kid, it was pretty messy. So I'm glad that we were able to blacktop the whole path from the parking lot up to the building. And I think that's going to make a lot of families happy when they come to our classes in the future. So I want to thank the Highway Department and Jim for really, getting that done for us. Some other park improvements, that's our first aid room. One of our receptionist, Angie, she is a phenomenal artist, and she did that freehand. So we're just making some improvements over at Rec as we are slow. Chamber Park, we fixed the pavers at the end of the Chamber Park. We also removed the old sign that said no swimming, boating, fishing, and changed that to a more pleasant looking sign. I think it looks pretty nice down there. The skate park, during the winter, and I think that was, right before COVID, we were able to purchase a large piece of equipment for the skate park, and that is up, and the kids are out there skating away. So I just wanted to show you guys those improvements at the skate park. Red Mills Park, and this really goes to show all the things that, projects people come in front of you guys, about the skate park, or this is another project from an Eagle Scout with the picnic tables at Red Mills, just, so that you guys could see the finished product. These picnic tables, I see people on them all the time. I actually stopped one day to take a picture, not this day, but a different day, and there was golfers out there. And they're like, we pass by them every day, and we're going to Putnam Golf, and we can't really go out to eat, so why not come and use the park? So I thought that was great that they are utilizing it. Airport Park, that is some of the new equipment that we just purchased, soccer equipment. MSA was able to put that together. To the right is the Premier Field, just so that you guys can see where we're at. That is the building and the pavers that they put in, so it's a work in progress, but it's starting to really come together. Sycamore Playground, we just put down some new playground mulch, so that's looking nice and new for all of our classes. Like Jim said, all of our fall classes, which are going to be outside. They're all going to be under the pavilion at Sycamore Park, and we have only had to cancel 3 classes. They start next week, so we have a full schedule coming. Also, Angie, the receptionist, is on the right-hand side. You can see there's different areas of the pavement that she's painting into an activity course for the kids. So that'll be good. Kids in the class can use it, as well as people just coming to use the park. One of the biggest projects I think we've taken on this summer is the file retention storage project. We removed all of the boxes that were in our attic and pretty much filled the whole room at Sycamore Park with files. We've been working with Alice from the clerk's office to get those all in order. It is a huge project, and we are almost done. So it's a great thing to be able to get everything over here and get them in storage, as well as keep what we need over there. We had Relay for Life at Sycamore Park a few weeks ago. I hope some people were able to get out. It was a really nice event. They were able to pull it together really quickly, and I just wanted to show that off. Drive-in movies. So this fall, we wanted to do something else since we are not going to be hosting our annual Harvest Fest due to COVID and all the regulations that would come along with that. We decided to throw something else in there. We're doing some drive-in movies. So our first movie is this Friday. Just so you guys know, it's sold out in 2 minutes. There's only 45 spots. We're doing it up at Camarda Park. We are doing some additional movies. We're thinking about doing more Halloween themed. So for October 16th, possibly Ghostbusters or Jurassic Park. And October 30th, we're going to shoot for Hocus Pocus. So if you know anybody that's interested, tell them to get on there as soon as 9 a.m. hits, because they will probably go quick. But we're excited about that. It's going to be something new,
This is great.
different.
Families love this.
Yep, absolutely.
For them to get out, go
And
to a
it's-
drive-in movie.
totally free
Very
to
popular.
all residents, so, you know, I think it's a great way to get people out.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim said before the tennis courts, you can't really see, but there are people out there playing, and it's constant all day. We have people on the courts. And then I did just want to show you guys the storm damage that we had to take care of as well. On the left, that's a lifeguard chair all the way in the distance that flew off from, I believe it was a little tornado that came through Sycamore Park. Also took down a bunch of trees. Jim, you know, just the size of the stuff.
Give it
And
some
yeah.
scale, right?
So, overall, I mean, we've been doing a lot at Recreation, and, you know, even though it has been a hard time for a lot of people, I think that, you know, getting back to normalcy as best as we can, is important, and our fall classes, like I said, start on Monday. We're excited to get started. They are gonna be all outdoors. We are gonna be practicing social distancing and making sure that everybody masks up. But I think that people are just happy to be doing something with other kids, with other families, and overall just together as a community. So we're excited for the future and hope that that just goes positively. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
It's interesting, the revenue from the beach
Yeah,
went from 4,500 last year
yeah,
to 13,000 this year.
yeah,
So that just goes to show you, that's an example of people weren't traveling anywhere, they were staying local,
absolutely.
and they were, you know, using the beach area. So that's great that they were taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and we hope for next year that, you know, we're able to, you know, obviously, we hope that we go back to normal and we have camp next year. So, you know, we'll see from there, you know, how we can keep the beach open to the public, because I think that that's the hardest part. Once we have camp there, people don't want to be on the beach with campers all day. So we're going to try to figure out some way of either making the beach a little bit bigger or, you know, getting them in there as well, so.
Yeah. And Nina, the layout for this, the fall brochure, is beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, so who's ever involved in that, putting this together, you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
All right,
That's
it's
our-
very
Our
informative.
office, all office staff on
Yeah,
board
no,
for that.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
thank you for this, are you finished, Jim, with this, Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this, I asked the Recreation to provide us with this report. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's important that they do come here periodically to update not only the board, but the community with respect to the recreation programs, what's offered. Everything in here is offered for the fall, but to give an update on the goings-on over at Recreation is very important, especially these days.
They
You know,
do a
people
great
looking
job,
to
and they
get
have a
out.
lot going on. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things to do here in town.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
they look for recreation activities to keep busy, you know, and they're local, so that's good. So thank you for Nina and Jim putting this together and being here.
Jim, can you just give us, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you can give us a quick update on the, what we've been talking about, you and I, the last couple of days, the irrigation system.
Sure.
At the,
Yeah, but I want to say first, if there's any groups out in town that are looking for, because a lot of the schools, you're not able to meet inside. There's a lot of indoor space. They have a lot of regulations where they can't do that. If then you need to use a park, you can just go to a park, socially distanced. We spread picnic tables throughout the town. So utilize your parks around. And, you know, if there's somebody in a spot that you want, you could wait or come back later in the day. But I think that's important that people know that you can get out and use them. And also for different groups. I know Frank has been out with a couple food drives down at our Geary rink. Kenny, we had some other activities going out there during the storms. And also coming up, we have e-waste and shredded day. If there's anything that people need help with, and you need to utilize a park, you know, reach out to the supervisor's office or call over to Recreation, and we can try to help people out. We did that with Relay for Life. They were supposed to use the school. They couldn't use it. They asked the town board, asked us, and we were able to get that event off for them. So it's important to keep things going on. If we could do it safely, we'll do it in the parks, so we can help out as many people as we can. You want an update on the irrigation?
yeah, only because
So-
we had gotten some phone calls from some of the soccer,
Sure.
Soccer.
So our plan was to start up the irrigation earlier this week. I think it was on Monday we were supposed to start. We had all contractors on site. They were reviewing everything before we started it up, and they determined that the motor on top of the pump that's in the well was not geared or sized correctly for the electric that's going to it. So that has to be pulled out. The motor's got to be changed for the amperage on the pump. So we're in the process of doing that. Inside Engineering is putting together a review on how it happened, why it happened, and how it's going to be rectified. So we should be getting that momentarily. That was a subcontractor of Amity Construction. They did all the work out there. They had a sub that was the electrical engineer, or the electrical contractor, and the well pump contractor. So the well pump contractor put in the wrong size well motor on top of the pump. So they're going to have to pull that out, change it out, and put it in. So everything else is in place and ready to go. The electric is all hooked up there. So it's just a matter of getting all the correct size equipment to start the system up. We'll be overseeding the airport probably starting tomorrow or Friday. We've got some rain coming in on Sunday, Monday, and we'll hopefully have the irrigation system going on next week. So we're shooting for the fall growing season there.
Jim, when do you anticipate the well pump being changed out?
I was told it'll be done this week.
Okay,
So you've got, obviously tomorrow or Friday.
okay. All right, you'll follow up on that?
Yep, I'll let you know as soon as it's taken care of.
All right, appreciate that.
You got it.
Okay, all right, great report. Appreciate you guys being here. Does anybody have any questions for Jim or Nina while they're here?
Beautiful
Mike?
presentation, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You got it.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. Okay, next up is Commanding Officer Lieutenant John Dearman from the Carmel Police Department. Thanks, Nina. John is here for actually 6 and 7 on your agenda. 6 is to consider request to declare old equipment obsolete and authorize disposal of
Which was
same.
the good one?
That one.
This one.
So John, why don't you start with 6? John, hit the button. Turn it. There you go.
We recently purchased a new Ricky fingerprint machine. It's online and we're using it now. So I'm requesting that we declare the old one obsolete and dispose of it.
Okay, all right. This is following standard procedure that any time equipment is disposed of, it has to be authorized by the town board to declare it obsolete and authorize the disposal of it. So that's why John's here for this agenda item. Any questions on this one, Frank, Mike? Bob, Susie, no? All right. John, why don't you go on to 7 then? Consider request to amend the user fee schedule for the fingerprint background check services.
I asked Mary Ann Maxwell to amend the user fee schedule for when civilians come in to get fingerprints done for their background checks. And she also opened up a separate account at Mahopac National Bank because DCJS, the Division of Criminal Justice Services, requires that we keep money in basically like an escrow account. So every time they run a set of fingerprints, they will deduct the money out of our account. Under Executive Law 837-8A, the state will charge $25 for the background check and a $50 surcharge. I requested that Mary Ann that we raise our user fee schedule to $100 per applicant. We'll use any leftover monies to put towards the subscription costs to have this program in our fingerprint machine. What we've been doing is people come in and we're actually still using ink and cardboard paper fingerprint cards, like when you first started and became a cop, Kenny. It's archaic and obsolete system. We've been electronically fingerprinting arrestees for years now, and it was a long time coming to be able to, if someone needs to come in to get a background check done for their job, now we can do it digitally. We know that the fingerprints are good. A lot of times people get ink prints done, they smudge. They're back 6 months later saying the prints were no good and this whole time they didn't get a result. So now people can come in and get, results back within a week or two from DCJS and know that they're gonna get the right results back, because it won't allow the prints to go unless we get a good print on it.
John, I'm sorry. No, I'm saying this is the system that we use pursuant to the fingerprint law that we passed a few years ago with regard to all new town employees being fingerprinted, correct?
Yes, this is the system, this is the agreement we need to enter into in order to have it done.
And the turnaround time for the results are, you think?
I mean, for an arrestee, the turnaround time is literally like 15 to 20 minutes. I don't know how much it is on civilian prints, but I can't believe it's more than a week versus months.
And you know the prints have been taken properly, tells you right off the bat,
And
yeah.
you know the prints are gonna go through well because it won't accept them unless the roll is right and it can read the fingerprints.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna, Greg, we'll need a resolution amending the user fee schedule?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Any further questions for Lieutenant Dearman on any of these items?
No?
No?
Kenny, actually, my only question is, I believe we were gonna have it run through the town clerk's office for the payment,
Yes.
like the same thing we do
Same
with
thing with the
the
impounds.
impound fees.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I would recommend that we do it that way. Greg, is that?
Only the clerk or the receiver should be actually taking in the money, whatever the charge is, so that's correct.
Okay. All right. So why don't we, because the town clerk is receiving the payments for the impound fees, so why don't we just keep it that she's going to be receiving the payments for
Fine.
this
That's
as well,
absolutely how we'll write it.
for the
Okay.
fingerprint print? All right. All right. All right.
That's it.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
John.
Thanks, John. Okay, the last item on the agenda, number 8, I'll handle that. This is the Mahopac Fire Department. These are deletions to the active list of the fire department. This from their corresponding secretary. The Mahopac Fire Department has removed following persons from our rolls. We would respectfully request for you to remove the following names: Sean Mullins, Cameron Rice, and Mitchell Tenapackway. So they're asking that these names be removed from the list, the active list from the fire department. Any questions, comments on this request? This is
No.
something that they do when they're dropping someone from the rolls or someone resigned from the rolls of the department. We have to remove them from the workers' comp insurance. Okay? All right, so that completes the agenda items for this evening's town board work session. So at this time, I'm going to open up the floor to public comment for 3 minutes. Comment time on agenda items only that we covered this evening. So this will cover the voting meeting agenda as well as the town board work session agenda. So if anybody would like to comment, come on up at this time. Okay, there being none, I'm going to now open up the meeting to open forum. This is the new business portion of the meeting where you can come up and comment on town-related matters. And you must be a town resident, taxpayer, or business owner in the town of Carmel to comment during this period of time. Okay, great. There's none. Being none, thank you all for attending tonight. It's town board meetings. I do have a couple of announcements. I know, Frank, I think you have one?
Yeah.
So why don't we start with you?
Sure. So this coming Saturday, I had joined up with the United for the Troops to conduct a supply drive. So that's going to be this Saturday, the 26th, from 10 to 2 at the Gary Skate Park Rink. 10 to 2, and we have, there's lists, you can see them out there, but basically you just need supplies that we could send overseas to our troops who are stationed overseas. No glass items can be transported, so snacks and toiletries and things like that, Kenny, that's what we're collecting. So myself and our group will be there. We have our traffic coordinators, Barbara Reitz and Mike O'Brien, will be doing that. We'll be collecting as well cash donations and checks and whatnot. So it's supposed to be a nice day, so hopefully everybody gets out. And it's for a really great cause, Ken. I know that you said that you're going to be there as well. And we went, I checked, we have enough tables there, that tents and tables. United for the Troops has their set up as well. So we'll all be there from 10 until 2 on Saturday.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Councilman Borelli, could you read that announcement?
Actually, to my fellow neighbors around the lake, and anybody that has a view of Lake
Mike,
Mahopac.
Mike, open up your mic.
To my fellow neighbors around the lake and anybody that's looking at Lake Mahopac this weekend, The Town of Carmel and the Lake Mahopac Park District Board have arranged to conduct a survey of the fish population of Lake Mahopac. The survey will take place during the evenings of September 25th and 26th, this weekend, from approximately 6 p.m. to midnight, weather permitting. The work will entail the use of generators and lighting. Residents should not be alarmed if they notice this work being performed. So if you hear a generator on the lake, or if you see lights shining in the water, they're counting fish, believe it or not. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. Frank, you want to?
Yeah, also, I had gotten a few messages from some residents on Sycamore Road with regard to some dangerous speeding conditions. So I spoke to Lieutenant Dearman, and what we decided to do is those speed signs that say, you know, you're going X number of miles per hour don't really work to reduce the speeding. So there is a speed patrol, enforcement patrol out there. So I would suggest everyone be very careful in maintaining their speed on Sycamore Road. It's a straightaway, and you can really go pretty fast if you're not paying attention. So start paying attention to the speed. There's a lot of kids who are playing in their front yards. You know, maybe they have a ball goes out into the street and whatnot. But so just be careful and know that there are tickets being issued by our young, aggressive police department. And we should have some numbers on that pretty soon. And hopefully the main focus is to reduce the speed of the cars who are traveling more than the tickets.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you, Frank. Sue, can we go over to Bob first?
Yeah, of course.
Councilman Shannell, would you read your announcement,
Yeah,
please?
one announcement. Town of Carmel Police Department is asking you to help join with their Shed the Meds. That'll be this October 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Carmel Town Hall. The event will be held rain or shine outside of the Town Hall and supervised by the Town of Carmel Police Department with proper social distancing measures in place. Masks are required. You can drop off any expired and unwanted medications, and it will be collected and safely disposed of by officers from the Town of Carmel Police Department. Disposing of medications improperly, such as flushing it down the toilet or pouring it down the drain, can lead to pollution in the water that we drink. Safe disposal helps protect our health and keeps prescription drugs away from young children or others who might use them improperly. This is a good time to go through your medicine cabinets, see if you have any expired medications, and properly dispose of them here with the police department. Thank you.
It's a good program.
Okay, Susie?
Yep, okay. To all Carmel water residents and businesses, please be advised that the town is in its final stages of the water meter replacement program with our contractor, National Metering Services, NMS. Starting in October, NMS will only be available for a few more weeks to replace the remaining meters as their contract with the town is set to expire. The town will be forwarding final reminder letters to those residents and commercial establishments that have not scheduled a meter replacement. In addition, please note that the town will be instituting a service charge for those customers whom declined the remote communication reading feature or those who have not had their older meters replaced under the new program. Please contact NMS at 1-888-448, we're missing a number here. Call Kenny's office tomorrow to get the number, to schedule a meter replacement appointment. They're missing a
Missing a
number
number?
here. Yeah. So really, in a nutshell, if you have not allowed the people to come in to change your water meter, you have a few more weeks to do that before you're going to start being penalized by the town. So you do want to make an appointment for it.
Yeah, there's 400 homes that haven't had their meters changed out yet.
Okay.
Out of about 4,000. So
Yeah.
we're getting down to the wire with these, but we really need the cooperation of the homeowners that reside in one of our water districts throughout the town to have your new water meter installed. So please make an effort to contact the engineering department and schedule an appointment through National Meter Service to have your new meter installed. We'd like to get this project closed out by the end of the year, but there's 400 properties that still haven't made an appointment to have their meter installed. So if you could please help us out with that. If you live in a water district and you haven't had your new meter installed, please contact our engineering department and arrange for that.
Yep. And just quick, I just wanted to give a quick update on the comprehensive master plan. There's going to be an open meeting for the public which is going to be Thursday, October 29th. We're asking the public to come and really give their input because this is a program that we're doing for the next 10 to 20 years, so we really need to get your input. Because of COVID, you are going to need to register because we're only allowed to have a certain amount of people at each time. We can always add if we need to, but right now the date is Thursday, October 29th. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to hold it at Sycamore Park. And then the same day, Thursday, October 29th, here at Town Hall, it will be from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. You will be receiving, we're going to get out a press release, hopefully for next week's paper. You're going to be asked to take a survey, and if you can do that survey as soon as it's open, which should be next week, that it takes about 15 minutes to take, but it really will give the town board and the planners a good input of what we want to do for the next 10 to 20 years. So it's really important. More information will follow, but please get on your thinking caps and, help us decide how the town is going to move forward. That's
Okay,
it.
good. Thanks, sir. All right. Frank just has a couple more announcements I just gave him to make. Frank?
Saturday, October 24th, at the Gary Skate Park parking lot, from 9 to 2, the town of Carmel is going to be having an e-waste drop-off day as well as a paper shredding event at the same time. Carmel, proof of Carmel residency only. The items for recyclable are fax machines, laptops, TVs, humidifiers, monitors, small air conditioners up to 5,000 BTUs, cameras, space heaters. And for the paper, no plastic, CDs, DVDs, or hard drives or binder clips. Again, it's 9 to 2 on the 24th. They're both going on at the same exact time, and you will be required to show proof of residency. Okay?
Okay,
And
thanks,
we'll
Frank.
announce that, obviously, as we get closer.
Okay, thank you. So I have some really good news for the Town of Carmel taxpayers. The Town of Carmel recently had a Moody's review, a financial review with Moody's Investor Services. And at the conclusion of the review, the Moody's committee met that reviews the financials status of municipalities that they rate. And the Town of Carmel maintains this AA1 bond rating. So that's really good news. And it's the AA1 long-term rating for the Town of Carmel. And we just did a bond sale for $5.6 million for public improvements. And the serial bond sale is the 2020 Series A. They affirmed the A1 rating for that bond sale, which means that the interest rate on the bonds that were just sold for capital improvement projects, one was, I believe, 0.6, the interest on it, and the other was 1.2 interest. So because we have an excellent rating, AA1 bond rating, means that we borrow money for capital improvement projects. Our interest rate is very low. As you just heard, 0.6 and 1.2. That's very good for municipal borrowing for capital improvement projects. So because our financials are in such excellent, strong position in the Town of Carmel, and that's because of the work by this town board and by our comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, is the reason that we maintain the AA1 bond rating, because the town's financials are very strong and in an excellent condition. So, and Moody's recognizes that. We're working on a AAA rating. It's very, very difficult to achieve that, but we're working towards that, and we're hopeful that within the next year or two, perhaps, we would have a AAA rating, which is the best rating that you can receive for your financials, for municipal finances. So we're working towards that, but we're in good shape with a AA1 rating. I'm very pleased to report that, and board, thank you, and I know Mary Ann had a lot to do with this as well. So we've made some good decisions in fiscal planning and prudent decisions financially to get us to where we are, and we're going to maintain that, and Moody's recognizes that. So when you borrow money, you want the best rating you can get, because money's cheap. at that
Better
time.
bond ratings.
All right, and Mike has said this in the past, that it's very cheap to borrow money when you have a very good municipal rating.
Those numbers you gave, pretty much you get money for free. It's unheard of. Mary Ann, I spoke to Mary Ann the other day about this, and never in the history of this town or anywhere can money be borrowed
That
that
cheap.
cheaply.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
We're
really
fixing, we're fixing major things and paying for it with the repair bills that we used on these major undertakings from years ago.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's,
exactly.
we're in a good, very good position.
So the water two projects, the tanks,
That speaks for
the
itself. I
water
mean,
treatment plant, and the distribution system, when we borrow money for those projects, our interest rate's gonna be very low. And that translates into a savings for the taxpayers.
I was going to save that for the budget meeting, but what Water 2 used to pay in repairs will pay the interest on the bonds, like I said, 3 years ago right here, 3 years ago right here. And it'll be a brand-new system. And it's because the money is so cheap.
Right. So, and if we could get the AAA, Mike, that would really be the icing on the cake. It's difficult to achieve that, but we're trying. And we did get some encouraging feedback from Moody's regarding that. So we're working towards that. So that'd be great. So whenever you do a bond sale, that automatically triggers a Moody's review. So anytime the town borrows money for capital projects, you can plan on having a Moody's review prior to the bond sale. That's why there was one this year, because we just did a $5.6 million bond sale. So that was important to mention. The Mahopac News actually did a very good story on it this week. Bob Dumas interviewed myself and Mary Ann, and it's in the Mahopac News this week about this. So that's good. And also what's in the Mahopac News is about the LED lighting that we had installed throughout the town hall and in this room also. That was really cheap. I think it cost us $1,700 to do this entire building.
And the savings will be great.
The savings is going to be $22,000 a year. Savings is going to be incredible, energy savings. So, that's a lot of money. And to install these ballasts and these new LED lights, there was a program that NYSEG was offering, and we couldn't refuse it. We couldn't turn it down because it was such a huge savings to the town. So this building has been completed. The next facility is going to be recreation that's going to be done. So more savings to the taxpayers by doing this. So that's great. One other announcement, the town board of the town of Carmel will hold a special meeting on Wednesday, September 30th, which is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. at Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York. The purpose of this meeting is to be for the distribution only. This is distribution only of the tentative budget, the supervisor's tentative budget for fiscal year ending 2021 to the Carmel Town Board by Ann Spofford, Town Clerk. Please note that the supervisor's budget message and the town controller's PowerPoint budget presentation will be presented on Wednesday, October 7th, 2020 at 7 p.m. prior to the town board voting meeting. So the purposes of next week's town board meeting is only so the town clerk can present my tentative budget to the town board. There's statutory requirements that the board has to receive it by October 5th. So that's why we're having this special meeting, because we wouldn't be meeting again until October 7th, and you have to have it by the 5th. So that's why. So we're going to open the meeting. The town clerk is going to distribute the tentative budget, and we're going to close the meeting. So there's no further action that's going to be taken by the board. That's next Wednesday.
Let the
And,
public know too, Kenny, there's no, if they come, we're not opening up.
There's
It's
no
strictly
discussion. Yeah,
procedural.
we're actually opening it and
Right.
closing it in the supervisor's conference room. It's going to be televised, but it's going to be back there because there's no other action that's going to be taken that evening or no other town board work. So, I will continue to update. Walton Drive is here, the Walton Drive residents, thanks for being here. So I'll get you another update as soon as we have it, but even if I don't have anything substantive to provide you, I'll let you know that, all right? But you'll hear from me Friday. So I'm going to try to email you twice a week, at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. But I think I stated in my last email, if there's something that I need to get to you sooner, I'll get it to you sooner, all right? But, plan on seeing an email from me the end of this week, okay? We'll try to just keep communicating that way, and hopefully we're going to make some progress. All right, thanks for being here. All right, does anybody have anything else? Bob?
I have one more thing I forgot to mention earlier. It's Putnam County. Putnam County is hosting their Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off Day. That's going to be on October 3rd, and it's going to be located at the Canopus Beach parking lot on 301 at Fawnstott State Park. They request that you call the county number, which is 845-808-1390, extension 43150. If you'd like to register, there's all household hazardous material, old paints, oils, and such. There's a whole list. They request that you bring it there, not in garbage bags, but either in the trunk of your car or in boxes in your trunk. They'll pull you in, open up your trunk, and they'll take it out, and you just go on your way. It's a good time to get rid of a lot of stuff that you might have laying around the house from different projects maybe working on during this COVID and whatnot. I know I've got a lot, so I'll be there. That's
Okay.
it.
All right, Bob, I just have one other quick item, and I apologize that I want to make this announcement. As you know, the town board of the town of Carmel is initiating a search process for a new police chief. Our former chief, Mike Kazari, retired at the end of July, and we began the search for his replacement. So we're accepting letters of interest along with resumes seeking interested and qualified candidates from both the internal and external sources, so as to develop a comprehensive pool of candidates. So what that means is from those members of the force that might be interested in the position can submit a letter of interest and resume, and those outside of the department, the external sources, they can submit a letter of interest and a resume. All interested candidates must reside in Putnam, Westchester, Dutchess, or Rockland counties to be considered for the position. Experience: all interested candidates must have served as a command level in both leadership and management at the rank of lieutenant or higher level rank. The town of Carmel Police Department consists of 42 full-time staff with 35 sworn officers, 5 civilian dispatchers, and 2 clerical positions. The rank structure of the police department is chief with 2 lieutenants, which is a patrol lieutenant, administrative lieutenant, 6 patrol sergeants, and 1 detective sergeant, 3 detectives, and 22 police officers. Please submit your letter of interest along with a resume to the Office of the Town Supervisor, Kenneth Schmidt, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mopac, New York, or email amp2@ci.carmel.ny.us no later than Friday, October 9th. So Friday, October 9th is the cutoff date for interested candidates to submit their letters of interest and resumes. All letters and resumes submitted after October 9th deadline will be disqualified. So I just want to make that announcement that the search for a replacement for Chief Kazari is ongoing, and we're still receiving letters of interest and resumes from candidates who would like to be considered for that position. So I just wanted to announce that and let the public know where we're at. So that's it. I don't have anything else. There was a lot of announcements tonight from all of the board, and I appreciate your indulgence in listening to all the announcements, but they're all equally important. And I hope to see everybody at the United for the Troops food drive, which is this Saturday at the Roller Rink Park. They're a great organization, and they do such amazing things for the members of the armed service that are serving overseas, and they provide gift boxes to them annually. And the only way they can continue to do that is with the support of the community, of the residents. So this Saturday is that drive over at the Roller Rink, where Jim Rathschmidt and company is going to be there. Frank is going to be there. I'm going to be there for a little while. If any of the board members would like
I'll
to
be
stop
away at
by,
work. Yeah, I won't be in town.
come by. So we're hoping that we're going to have a great turnout, and it's going to be a successful drive. So thank you all so much. All right. Yeah, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to
So
go to
moved.
executive session.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Borelli, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and this is with Lieutenant John Dearman to discuss 2 proposals for vendor services for the town of Carmel regarding the police reform mandate executive order. So good night, everyone. Be well.
night, everyone.
We'll see you next time. We're going to close the meeting from executive session. Good night.